So last week I visited Igloo City in Hurricane Gulch. Igloo City was only the Igloo Motel, which was abandoned. There's nothing else in that city or area. And it was a really cool place to see. I can't imagine what was going through the owner's mind when they thought to put up a hotel there. Now there's some stories about what actually happened with the motel and why it's abandoned, why it was never finished. I'm guessing that the owner one day went out there when it was almost complete and just thought to himself, this is the worst place to build a hotel. There's no cars, there's no people, there's nothing there. On one side is Hurricane Gulch, which is just nothing more than a long valley. And on the other side is Broad Pass, which is nothing more than driving a long way over the mountains. So it made no sense to build this out there. But the real story is that when the building was complete, it didn't pass the inspection or the building codes, and it just wasn't worth repairing everything. You know, I think the owner at that time gave up. And over the last 10 or 12 years, there were two people interested in buying it to turn it into a brewery, but those deals never went through. And now the owner claims she's still selling it, but nobody's going to buy it. If you see it, it was falling apart. You can check out the video I put out last week. It's just going to fall apart and be abandoned forever. And Hurricane Gulch, like I said before, was nothing more than a really long valley. It's extremely windy up there, and it was disappointing. It was probably one of the few places that disappointed me that I stopped at, only because nobody seemed to take care of it, and you didn't really have a view. The shrubbery and the bushes and the trees had all grown out so that you couldn't really see the drop below. And I think it's like a 250-foot drop, and it also didn't feel really like a safe place to be because the guardrails were only in the beginning, but most of the view didn't have guardrails. It just had a cliff. So I joked in my last video, or the video from last week, where I called it a tourist death trap because it just wasn't safe to be standing up there. I got as close as I felt safe, and I just held the camera up, and that's the best view you can get from it. So that was disappointing because of that. The Hurricane Bridge, I don't know, it just looked like a normal bridge to me. I know that is a little popular with people who travel through. They want to see the bridge. It was a very short bridge, and it really didn't look as nice as some of the other bridges we drove over. So that's going to be it for this video. I really don't have anything else to say about those places. Igloo Motel or Igloo City is definitely a place worth visiting. It was just really cool to see it out there. Other than that, you can't live in these places. I didn't see any mailboxes. You know, sometimes you see one or two mailboxes every 5 miles. Nothing was out here. So it's just a place to drive through on your way to wherever you're going.